Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy says he is dealing with treason in the ranks as Russia goes on the offensive once again. Zelenskyy has suspended two top officials, saying they have failed to prevent widespread collaboration within Ukraine's security services with Russia. One of those suspended officials, Ukraine's prosecutor general, said in a statement she cannot and will not argue with Zelenskyy's decision. ABC News' Patrick Reevell joins us now from Ukraine's capital, Kyiv. Patrick, good to see you, friend. So please break down who was involved in this and why these officials were removed.
Hi, Kenneth. Yeah, I mean, this is a major political shakeup here in Kyiv. President Zelenskyy abruptly announced that he was removing the powerful head of the Ukraine Security Service, the SBU, as well as the prosecutor general, who you just mentioned. And Zelenskyy basically said he was removing them because they had failed to deal with widespread cases of collaboration with Russia inside their agencies. And so the head, for example, of the security service was Ivan Bakanov, and he was a childhood friend of Zelenskyy's. But it seems that this has been coming for some time. You know, Politico a month ago reported that basically Zelenskyy was very unhappy with Bakanov and wanted him to be removed because he believed that there had been major failures at the start of this war within the agency, the SBU, and basically that there had been these hundreds of cases of collaboration which had led to the Russians making significant gains, particularly in the south. And so basically these two officials are not being accused of treason themselves, but they're being accused of failing to prevent it.
And Patrick, we know the war has been going on for months, but Ukraine is just now announcing a large batch of Russian collaborators inside the government. What does that tell you?
I think what it mostly tells us is really how compromised Ukraine's security services were at the start of this war. You know, Zelenskyy said that there are suspected 600 cases of collaboration, and this is cases of officials leaking information to the Russians, in some cases welcoming the Russians. And in particular, it's been reported that Zelenskyy's team blamed the failures of the SBU for the taking of the southern city of Kherson, and that this was a city that basically Russia was able to move into almost without a fight, and which has created a huge problem now for Ukraine trying to retake that area. And so I think one of the things was that when Russia began this invasion, it thought it could rely on the fact that it had compromised so much Ukraine's security services. And so this really is an attempt, I think, to try and show that, you know, he's regaining control over its security service now.
And Patrick, before we take off for the White House press briefing, let me try to fit in one more question, which is, we know that the fighting continues in the eastern part of the country. What's the latest on the battlefield?
Yeah, I mean, 2 weeks ago, Russia declared what it said was an operational pause. And now military experts and Ukrainian officials are telling us that basically Russia is moving out of that and beginning now to launch a new offensive to try and take the rest of the Donbass region in the east. And basically, military experts are telling us that they see now the beginning of a decisive battle in the east that is really going to determine how far Russia and Ukraine can go, how far Russia now is going to be able to continue pressing forward, and whether it might be able to continue then afterwards launching offensives deeper into Ukraine, and also how far, if on the other hand, if Ukraine can hold the Russians, whether they might later on be able to launch a counter-offensive down in the south.
And Patrick, do we know what Ukrainian cities are most at risk right now?
So obviously the cities that are most at risk are the ones that are right in the firing line right now in the east. These are smaller cities, places like Kramatorsk. But, you know, one of the things we saw last week was a change in Russian tactics. We saw them start to increase the use of their strikes with long-range missiles in cities really that until recently had been relatively safe. We saw this terrible strike in the central city of Vinnytsia last week that killed over 20 people. And I think really what that did was return some of the fear, because when we're here in Kyiv, you know, people hear the air raid sirens and they more or less ignore them most of the time. But I think after this strike, this indiscriminate strike, people have started to, you know, it's giving them pause once again, really, and the fear has come back somewhat here.
All right, Patrick Reevell there in Kyiv. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.